Today on My Friends Aren't Here, the podcast. I don't know. I think we're all fucked up in some way. Closeted, or just openly. Very much so they, which I am, if I give a shit. But unfortunately, I don't. I have no respect for myself. Clearly, that is why there is a semen stain on my passenger seat.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
The most recent situation, actually, let's talk about that, actually, was I don't know if he was closeted, but he was a man. He approached me, I mean, essentially, as if I was a fucking sex worker. He kind of like followed me around, and one thing about me is I'm not someone who likes to share these stories with my friends because number one, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit ashamed of being gay, right? If you want to go into the psychology of it all, perhaps that could be the case. However, aside from that, it's just strange. And also, again, 99.999.999. Oh my God, is that a Hitler thing? Anyways, our girls, and all of my friends, they're all girls. They're girls, or there's like two gays, right? So like, I don't really want to share these stories with them because either they wouldn't get it or they would be worried for me. And I I mean, two things that I don't like feeling is misunderstood or having people pity me or being worried about me, because I'm fine, bitch. I got a Glock. However, this most recent situation is not one that I have shared with a singular soul. And I do feel like I came out on top. Um, of course, I mean, if you looked at me, you would say, bottom, bitch. No. Um, Ideally, I'm nothing. Ideally, I am a celibate virgin. I was at a grocery store, right? And so this man was like following me around essentially. Um, let me just be transparent about my personality disorder, per se. I do love to lie. I love to lie and lie and lie and lie. And ideally, what I was about to do, and I just literally stopped myself from doing so, was lie about the situation and say, it's not as crazy as it actually was. Like, no worries. I'm chill. I'm fine. But no, so it was someone who worked at a grocery store. I'll be honest. I was a little bit high, and I was there for some munchies, and this man approached me and he said, "You finding everything all right?" And of course, me, high out of my mind, I say, "Yeah, I'm fine." Because I would say the same shit if I was sober as shit. Just to give a general kind of synopsis of who he was, um, you know, he was my age, black man, not really that fine, which a black man is my type. So, well, they're ideally who my type is, because stop. Anyways, stop. You guys are so fucking freaky. But he approached me, and like, his build was my type per se, but his vibe gave crepe. I was worried a tiny bit for my life, but also I was high, of course. Not on like meth or anything or heroin, but he like kept, I mean, the word that I would use was pester. He kept fucking pestering me, like, you finding everything all right? I said, yep, I'm good. Thank you. And then it would circle back to, hey, I like your boots. I was wearing boots that day. I said, thank you. I appreciate it. I thank you so much. Um, and then it was, yeah, you have a really cool vibe. A really cool vibe. Thank you. Appreciate it. And then it was, you got a boyfriend. Nope. Which in this moment, I do reflect and say, stupid, stupid, stupid. Like, why wouldn't I just lie and say, yeah, I have a boyfriend and he's very scary. Like, because I probably couldn't pull it off, I would say, yeah, I do. And he's like, what? He'll beat your ass. I don't have that type of lying in me to kind of like come up with a fake story per se. But like if need be, I will, especially if need be for my friends. Like if anytime I see a freak ass bitch trying to talk to my friends and harassing them essentially, best believe my pitch is getting much lower. And I ideally will have on an outfit that is straight adjacent. God willing. But worst comes to worst, I not to like again toot my own ass or shove a dildo up one, but I do know how to fight, and I will say that I'm all right at it. Unless my girls love it, unless my girls love the attention, then like, girl, just let me know because that one thing about me is any man that approaches anybody, I'm like, what's going on there? Huh? I, back up. Maybe I need some fucking therapy to like dissect why I think like every man is a fucking threat and ready to kill. Well, I mean probably because they are. I digress. This man was harassing me. Oh, not. I'm sorry. Yes. Oh my God. Why? Let's just take a moment to have a therapy session with me. Why for everyone else am I like, I don't trust that shit. And I don't like the way that he's talking to my friend. I don't like this or that or that or this. And you need to back the fuck up, mister. But for me, it's like, no. I feel like maybe he probably just didn't mean it that way. Like it was like it was, it, it was harmless. He's harmless. I mean, anyways, to make a long fucking story short, he wanted to shove a whole bag of jelly beans up my ass, essentially. He asked for my number, and what does a dumb bitch do when they're being basically followed around a store? They give it to them. They do give it to them because they don't want to die, which is so silly. It's so funny because I've always said one thing about me is I'm ecstatic to die. I'm so ready and I cannot wait. However, not by the hands of any other bitch but May. I don't care. I'll be pissed and I will haunt any motherfucker that murders May. And I'll make your life a haunting hell if you fucking kill May. The only way that I'm going out on this God for fucking sake earth is by myself, by my own hands. Ooh, sorry. Trigger warning. Wee. Anyways, or natural causes. Those are the only two ways that I'm going out on this fucking earth. Because if not, hell will be given. A price will be paid. Psychosis will be given. Misery will be dealt. I refuse to leave this fuck ass earth by the hands of nobody but myself. Editor's note, I am not suicidal, just in case I somehow, some way, someday piss off the wrong people. Thank you. So I give him my number, and he then proceeds to still follow me around the store. I was literally in the chip aisle, fighting for my life to fight the munchies off. All of a sudden, he turns a corner. He works there. Isn't that crazier? I don't know if I mentioned that, but he worked there. And at this point, I started getting irritated as fuck. Mainly because, again, I was high. And you are really killing my fucking buzz, bitch. He approaches me again after I already gave him my fucking number. After I've already said, yeah, you can text me. Whatever, I'm down to hang, freak. He follows me still. And then it starts getting very sexual. He says, well, I mean, are you, what is the exact word that he said? It was like, are you experimental or something? I forget what exact word he used, but it was like, essentially, are you carefree? Are you like, you like living on the wild side type shit? Again, I am someone who, if there's anyone who has any sort of minor in psychology, you'll probably easily dissect this shit. But I disassociate whenever I'm speaking to, number one, men either don't know what I'm saying or I'm way too cognizant of what I'm saying and I'm making sure that it is like exactly what they want to hear. And that is exactly what I was doing in the moment because he began to give me, how would you say, fear. I began, of course, speaking in this tone as well. I was saying, yeah, I mean, it's, I just kind of have fun. Like, I don't really do anything specific. I kind of just hang out at home, like, and yeah, just essentially beginning to get to that Ariana Grande note register. Like, well, I mean, you can text me if you like. I just kind of like hang out at home. I don't really go out. I don't do much, but I mean, feel free, text me. Because I was a little bit scared that I would check out and be, trotting my way back to my vehicle in the parking lot in the fucking garage, and all of a sudden I'd be, parked down, and yeah, so that was a fear. And again, I circled back to the point of like, if I have this scary of a situation happen to me, I couldn't imagine what women deal with goddamn near on a daily basis. So, I mean, I'm not here to complain. I'm just telling a tale. Okay? I'm just telling a tale about a heifer who was chasing my fucking tail. Back up, bitch. For real. Oh my God. I am so good at rhyming. But secondly, oh my God, why are men like this? I look like the perfect candidate for a they-them allegation. But I just don't care enough, I guess. I think that's the main thing. Potentially, it is a thing that I should see a therapist about. I don't care enough about myself to be like, I want to go by they-them. I want to be a they-them. Because, can we talk? Can we talk? The they-thems, that started during the pandemic when a lot of people had a lot of time and a lot of unwellness in their souls. At home, by themselves, or with people that gave them hell. And what did they have to do other than, just rot away was scroll on TikTok and see people making these think pieces about, I am non-binary. Demi Lovato, I love you. I do. I love you down, and you know that for a fucking fact. I'm literally writing an entire episode called The Emancipation of Demi Lovato, as well as a few other celebrities, of course, that were done dirty. They were done dirty and wrong, down bad, left and right, and up and down by the public. Pardon me. So I love that bitch down. But I don't know what was going on inside of Demetria's noggin during that time. Neither here nor there. I'm not here to do a whole fucking think piece on the non-binaries. Because again, I 155 million%, if I gave half of that to myself and cared enough to care about myself and how people perceive me, yeah, for fuck sure I would be they them. But hey, I am not two people. I actually do. Well, then again, I do have a Gemini moon. So that's what makes me, I would say, I'm not saying that they thems are mentally ill, but my Gemini moon definitely does make me a little bit mentally ill because I just am never. It's very black and white for me. I'm very flip floppy. Right now, I wouldn't say I'm in a flop era, but I would say that I'm in yeah, definitely an unwell era. Anyways, what was I talking about? They thems, I love yous. This is what stresses me out. I'm too stupid. I'm too stupid to like actually like process like that they is one person. What are you talking about? Stop it. Do not stress me out. I have enough to stress out about. But anyways, let me finish the story of the fucking freak that got in my fucking vehicle. So yeah, he was following me around the entire goddamn store after I gave him my number, and he then asked, if I was experimentative or if I essentially, I believe his exact words were like, you like to, live on the edge, live on the wild side. I said, no, actually, I don't. But, of course, I was very disassociated at that point, and I said, I mean, yeah, I just, I don't know, I just kind of like live. I don't know what you mean. This man, he says, meet me where you parked your car, and, we can get into some things. I said, oh, okay, well, you have my number, so you have a great day. Take care. And I beeline it for the checkout. That's what exactly I did. And by the time I was checking out, he was on a break. I remember in that moment thinking, in the revised words, of course, of Demi Lovato, I'm about to beat my fucking self in the face. Why did I continue speaking to him? Why did I continue giving him the time of day? Of course, you cannot blame and I'm not trying to say I'm a victim, but yeah, look at the material. Let's ask the audience. Let's ask the audience. I walk along, I trot my stupid ass out of the self-checkout line, and that man is standing there acting as though he's kind of like one of my long-lost friends. Kind of like, hey, ready? Like, let's go. And that's when I started getting scared. Because there was no way out of this shit now. Because my car was fucking parked upstairs. And this man was not giving up. He was hard on me, literally. There was just no kind of getting out of the situation. And because I could easily, of course, I could, start trotting along, walking home by myself and leaving my car there, stranded. But I do fear, of course, he would walk along with me, and then what happens to me? I'm in a garbage can and I'm deceased. I've seen way too many crime documentaries. I've known too many women to know that you do not say no to a man that is a little bit bigger and stronger in a way than you. I would say, the best way I would describe it is I feel as though I have side character syndrome. Side character syndrome, in my own definition, is where I believe that nothing bad is going to happen to me because it doesn't really, I'm not really an important character. I'm kind of just here. I'm like, I'm here for a gig. I'm here for a gab. I'm here for a lift, laugh, love type situation. And nothing really crazy is gonna happen to me. I do love to say that. However, unfortunately, well, maybe it is fortunate because I do have some, you know, content to talk about. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a friend. More often than not, a situation of sorts does happen to me, such as this one. So, what do I do other than say, yeah, my car's parked up there? Stupid, stupid, stupid. I don't even know how to say this without saying it. He comes to my vehicle, he gets in, and we sit there in the parking lot. Of course, he's complimenting me. He says, "You got some nice lips." Where do we think it's going, guys? I'd love to see it. Have some fucking decorum, you freak. And then he goes on about, you got a nice body. I like it. I want to be in, like, it's when does it become so fucking unwell that you need to be locked up in a penitentiary? When I was younger and a little chunk of monk, I dreamed of days like this. I really did. And of course, shortly after, still in my Chunkamunk era, I did experience it. This is maybe a little brash or, quote unquote, too real. But any sexual experience I've ever had in my life with any man is not either how I wanted it to be or was not something I wanted to be happening in general. That is something that clearly has affected me throughout my life, affected how I see relationships. I see romantic or sexual relationships as transactional, whereas I'm basically just someone that's giving something to somebody else and they are stealing from me. And that's not mentally well or right. And I mean, I I think I'm just talking right now because I know that I have the power to edit this and not post certain things. I have a hard time just trusting. I don't really trust easily. I don't trust anybody, point blank period, easily. I've had the perfect cocktail of life situations to lead me up to this, and one day I will have a documentary and we will all, cackle and laugh and chit chat about, oh my God, damn, he's fucked up. Until then, it's just flat out, I've had a perfect cocktail of life experiences to just not want to trust anybody. Men, moreover. Anyways. My Friends Aren't Here, the podcast is brought to you by me, duh. Have your eyes been feeling quite dry? Are you getting sick of the same recycled nachos of crunchy clean girls and boring bland bottoms in your feed? Well, baby, allow me to introduce you to some fresh air to breathe. On Instagram.com/IRISALEXANDERM, your eyes' thirst will be quenched. You will no longer feel as though you are a cog in the wheel of witnessing every single micro trend. Nay, baby. At Instagram.com/IRISALEXANDERM, your eyes will be revived. My Friends Aren't Here, the podcast is also sponsored in part by my TikTok. Go follow IRISALEXANDER unofficial. That is UNOFFICIAL. I know, it's kind of hard to spell, I will say. Iris Alexander unofficial on TikTok. Iris Alexander M on Instagram. Also, fuck it. Follow my Finsta, Coke Queen Forever, COKEQWE as in echo, E as in echo, N as in November, 4 like the number, E as in echo, V as in victory, A as in alpha, because that is what the fuck I am, period. Thank you to our sponsors. You guys are truly the sexiest, baddest bitches, and I can attest to that. The silver lining of the story, if there fucking is any, is he was in my... You bitches will not fucking believe this shit. Anything he was saying to me, I was like, this is not serious. This is a joke. I am not here right now. This can't be happening. Seconds later, a dick is flipped out in my passenger seat of my vehicle. And he asks, what are you gonna do? I say, nothing. I genuinely was at a loss for words. I don't even know what your name is, sir. But you saw me. You thought, whatever it be, you wanted my body, you wanted to do whatever you wanted to do, and now you're following me and asking me what I want to do with your appendage that is flipped out. Sorry. Don't have words. I don't have words, but what I do have is his phone. Sorry. Yeah, so his phone was in it. I'm so sorry. It's not funny. It's actually fucking hilarious. His phone was in his back pocket, and when he yanked down his pants, his phone fell under my seat. My passenger seat. Yeah, of course, he didn't realize. And when, of course, I mediated the situation by saying, I'd much rather have you, in private. This is so public right now. First of all, are we well? Are we fucking well? Why are we flipping our cocks out? What is happening? What the actual shit is motherfucking happening that we feel so comfortable to be like, let me just whip this bitch out and I'm sure he'll suck it. Like, are we all right? Are we mentally stable? Do we have a porn addiction? What the motherfuck do you think? Do you think you were just gonna plop in my car? This was what the actual shit kind of sex scene do we think this is? That this is like a Ooh, a grocery store restocker sees a fragile twink in his place of work and fucks him in his vehicle and gags him. Like, what is happening here? What is happening here? Of course, again, I mediate the situation. I'm like, baby, I would. And see, this is also one thing bad about me is like if you have like some sort of structural like trauma, you know how to like kind of work people. You know what to say, especially to men, to make them give it up per se. And I kind of like just did a whole like I do like, but I just feel like I want you more like in a private situation, like in a private environment. Of course, he must have been on his fucking 15. He must have been on his 15, 10-minute break or so. Because he was like, no, I get you. I'm gonna call you because I want you. I want you bad. Thinking back, aw, if you like actually knew what my fucking name was, and mainly, if I knew what your fucking name was, and I wasn't scared for my goddamn life, it would be so sweet. Aw, you know, like you want me bad. Aw, you're so sweet. But sir, you followed me around your place of work and said, daddy wants, you know, the works, essentially. Ideally, awesome. I would love like a protector. I would love somebody who's my little bodyguard. You know, I'm Whitney Houston. You're my bodyguard. However, one thing about me is I do know how to guard myself. I will cut a motherfucker. But yeah. These are just a few anecdotes of why I despise being a guy that, you know, likes guy. How embarrassing. You know, this is what I think they meant back in the day. Like how yuck, how icky, how embarrassing. Are you not embarrassed? I'd be embarrassed. You're a man who likes men. Women don't even like men. What is wrong with you? Something's seriously off. And again, of course, it was men saying that, but like I think it was internalized, as they say. But I don't know. I think we're all fucked up in some way. Closeted, or just openly. Very much so which I am, if I gave a shit. But unfortunately, I don't. I have no respect for myself. Clearly, that is why there is a semen stain on my passenger seat.